Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 160 and today I have woken up this morning absolutely... I was about to say, I have woken up absolutely raring to go for this project, forgetting that the last time I was logged into the server, I took off all of my equipment because I went AFK quickly, and I was just standing by the beacon. And I didn't put my elytra back on. Wow, what a start to an episode. I can't believe that. Okay, so now that I've managed to get all of my stuff back, we are going to be working on the slime farm in today's episode. And we made a lot of progress on it. In the previous episode, obviously, we dug out the hole. We actually came out with the plan, which coming up with the plan is often one of the trickiest part. But there is still a lot, I mean a lot of things left to do with this thing. The first thing that we have to do is we actually have to mine out the rest of this hole, and we need to mine out the 5 blocks around the outside. So you know what, I think I'll start off with the 5 blocks around the outside going all the way down. Then we'll go down from there. I've also been thinking quite a bit about the design for this place, because obviously in the previous episode I said that we were just going to have this L going around like this. I've kind of been thinking that maybe having the full square will look better. Now that does mean that we're going to have to do tons of terraforming, so I might actually need some help on that one, because that's a pretty serious terraforming project and I'll definitely get it wrong. But I think it could potentially look better if we go right the way around this thing. Right, so I would say that is part 1 pretty much all completed, which is covering in all of the water to actually allow us to mine out this place. That's just the final few blocks going in there, and that should just about do it. So that's covered over there, we've covered up that area, and we've covered up this little space right here. And as I say, these are the slime chunks. So this is a 32 by 32 hole. And then we've added in 5 blocks on all of the sides. So we've increased it, so I guess this is 42 by 42 now, which is quite a nice set of numbers. And that's going to allow the slimes to jump off of the 32 by 32 platforms and fall down to the bottom to be killed off and then put into hoppers and then brought up into these storage systems that we have over here. Okay, hopefully that's all explained. Now it's time to actually mine out this place, and I think you guys know the drill. It's time for a third-person time-lapse. So in today's super fast time-lapse chat, I'm going to be talking to you about a whole bunch of different things. There's a ton of things I want to talk about. The first one that I want to mention is the camper van. I can't believe I'm bringing up the camper van again, and it has something to do with the filming channel too. The filming channel is going to be mentioned, but it's going to be brief, because what I've done is I've posted the first part of like a mini documentary of the restoration process of my camper van. It's literally like 2.5 minutes long, and it was filmed on day 1 of starting the project, and it was a lot of fun. The videos ended up looking pretty nice, considering it was filmed very slapdash, kind of chucking the camera around and just trying to work around us while we were working. So if you do want to check that out, a link will be down in the description on the screen and everything like that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it if you're interested in cars, if you're interested in carpentry, and if you're interested in me being really bad at carpentry and potentially ruining a car. But yeah, it's cool. And the project is actually going really well as well. I've been posting pictures on Instagram and everything like that of the project, and it's coming together so nicely. In fact, Vicky is actually working on it today. She's doing the front end of the camper van, and it's looking amazing. I'm so excited to share it with you, and of course I will be posting all sorts of pictures and everything like that in the near future. So Instagram is definitely the place to go if you want to see that sort of thing, and also if you want to see all of the pictures from my Philippines trip. I've been posting those over the past couple days, kind of in a semi-chronological order. So I would just check out the Instagram, because recently I've actually been messing around with shooting more stills. I've been filming now for probably about a year and a half, just really enjoying going out filming and shooting all sorts of filming projects, as you guys know. But I never really shot stills until recently, and I've been loving it. So all of those have ended up on Instagram if you do want to see them. But anyway, that's enough plugging my various social networks. Follow me on Twitter as well. It's time to get back onto the Hermitcraft server. And there we go. 1 even bigger hole. If the hole that we had already wasn't big enough, then this definitely looks more impressive. And the thing that I find so interesting is that even though we were only taking out 4 extra blocks on each one of the sides, if I had done that from minute 1, if I had taken out this hole all at once, it would have taken me 1 hour longer just to do those extra 4 blocks. That is, in fact, I'm going to work out the difference in area. Yeah, so a 32 by 32 area is 1,024 blocks per layer, whereas a 40 by 40 area that we have here is 1,600 blocks in total. So that is more than 50% bigger. More than 50% bigger in area, even though we've only added 4 blocks on each side. That's bonkers. Anyway, for now, we aren't going to be worrying about digging the rest of the hole. I'm not going to be doing that just yet. We'll probably do that later on in the episode. I'm a little bit dug out at this point in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start work on extending out this place. We're going to see what it will look like if we was to turn this into a square. I was about to say a circle. I also said if we was, which is that's not particularly good English. But yeah, if we were to turn this into a square wrapping right the way around, we'll just have to work out what we're going to do here. Here comes a traditional mumbo jumbo maneuver. Spinning around in the air to see what it looks like. And it looks much, much better. Yes, this is cool. This is very, very cool. This mountain needs to go, which means that even though I said I was all dug out, we actually need to dug out this area. 1, so that is 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So all of this needs to be taken out right the way back to there. Don't tell Exumer I said this, but I'm actually quite glad that he just left the server, because during that mining session, my Guardian farm was being the slowest thing on the planet. I don't know what Exumer was doing. Clearly he was loading a lot of mobs, but it took me about 10 minutes to repair my pickaxe, whereas now, just look at that, it's glorious. Oh, I also broke my Silk Touch pickaxe during that mining time lapse, so we're gonna have to get that fixed up at some point soon. Alright, that is part 1 of this little experiment, pretty much all completed. Those are the final grass or dirt blocks put in place, wrapping around. It turns out I was making quite a big meal out of taking out that mountain there, because it's not really a mountain, it's a small hill. I've managed to punch out all the blocks down at the bottom. I've just got to clear up the top, but I just wanted to see what it would look like with all of the grass wrapping round. And yeah, 10 million billion times better than it did before. With the little L, it kind of looked a little bit unfinished, but with 4 slimes going around like this, it's going to end up looking really, really great. And speaking of the slimes, I actually need to talk about those because you have submitted me a bunch of ideas. But before we even start thinking about those things, I thought it would probably be a good idea to actually clean up this place just a little bit. So now it is not just grass. We have also got all of the leaf blocks and all of the wood. And this is making me so nostalgic. I cannot tell you how nostalgic this entire project is making. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the process of mining a big hole, using oak wood, which is something that I haven't used in forever, and using leaves and grass and things like that. It's reminding me of like the early days of my YouTube Minecraft Let's Plays. Like before Hermitcraft was even a thing, when I would do Let's Plays, I would always use this sort of block palette. Oh, it's nice. It's nice to get back to it. Okay, next up, I guess we start putting these details in. Which actually, now that I'm looking at that, that looks off-center. No, it wasn't. It was perfectly dead center. I don't know what's going on with my eyeballs with this project, but everything seems to look skew-if, and then it turns out it isn't. And the reason I know that is because I have now constructed all of the surrounding areas. So we have got everything laid out ready for the chests, and ready for the hardened clay that goes in the corners. And yeah, as I say, it's an exact science. You know, or this is 14 blocks, that's 7, 14, that's 10, 7, or 14, 7, 7. Yeah, you get the picture. Everything is perfectly measured, and everything is wrapping around really nicely. And you know what I'm like? I have to see what it looks like from above, because this is kind of how I'm going to be viewing it. And the answer is, oh, it looks so much better. It looks so much better. I can't believe I was even thinking that I would leave it as an L. Obviously, we need to do plenty of terraforming around this thing, and that will really pull it together. But boy, oh boy, I'm so much happier with this. Okay, let's finish up all the details, then we can continue the mining. Oof, that's thrown a spanner in the works there. So, after putting in all the hardened clay, I thought to myself it looks a little bit flat. So I beefed up the storage system. Oh, look, yeah. There's no doubt about it. That looks better than that. By a considerable margin. There's no contest. Okay, so we're gonna have to, that's a lot of chests. 8 banks of those chests, oh my word. In fact, I've almost used up all of the wood that we got from our 1-hour session at the TNT tree farm. Which is impressive that it's lasted so long. I can't believe it's lasted that long. I love that TNT powered tree farm, it's incredible. I've actually come up with a new idea which is going to cut down on the ridiculous quantities of storage because we don't really want to have stupid quantities of storage that we're never going to use, and also it makes it look cooler, and that is to have the chests pointing outwards, and that makes massive differences. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Okay. Wicked. The only thing that I seem to be struggling with at this point in time isn't necessarily the wood for the chests. That's totally fine. It's actually iron. We're running really, really low on iron at the minute, even in my storage system. And the iron farm's been broken for a little while, so we might actually struggle to get tripwire hooks. And by that, I mean that we might actually have to go to Tango Tech's iron farm and pinch some. Was I wrong? Am I in fact a self-sufficient hermit who can provide his own iron for his own projects? Yes, we don't really need that. Oh, I've actually got quite a lot of iron. Okay, I take it back. 10 out of 10, I'm gonna have to steal some for the hoppers though, because there are gonna be a lot of hoppers for this one. Thankfully though, we don't have to worry about that for today's episode, because I'm going to do a dedicated episode to getting the farm up and running, and then all of the storage system connecting and things with the item elevators and stuff like that, because that's gonna be a bit of a tough one. But anyway, this is now done. All of the chests are in place. The only slight issue that I found with it is that because this is so big, this is such a big area, if we start to walk kind of in the walkway, the chests disappear from the other side. So you can only really see all of the chests when you're standing on the edge like this and you're not walking too far or too deep into the walkway. But either way, you know, if anything, that's quite impressive because it shows just how big this space that we've created is. But now it is time to create an even bigger space because we have got some serious mining to do. We have to get down to y equals 5. We are currently on y equals 30, so that is 25 blocks further down. Each one is 1,600 blocks, so that's probably about 40,000 blocks that we now need to mine out. Alright, I guess we should probably get to it. Now, in this second time-lapse chat of today's video, I want to talk to you about something that I'm incredibly excited about, and also something that was extraordinarily last minute. Like, probably one of the last minute decisions I've made in a long time. And I think it might be something to do with the fact that, so obviously I returned home from the Philippines, was it last Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday morning. So we got back, on Wednesday morning, and then on Thursday I was feeling incredibly jet lagged, and also, you know, I was back in the studio, I was recording videos, and you're kind of still in holiday mode. So I was sat there thinking, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I was back in the Philippines? Wouldn't it be so cool if I was back out on holiday? That would be amazing. And then at some point, I think it was on the Thursday. At some point, the Gorillaz, which is one of my favourite bands ever, it's throughout my entire life, the Gorillaz has kind of been that band that I've always absolutely loved, and I've spoken about this a bunch of times. I've actually seen them before in England at the O2, probably back in, it was just after Plastic Beach released. So I don't know when that would be, but quite a long time ago, so I've already seen them, but the Gorillaz released a new song, and I really liked it, and then I started looking around on the Gorillaz website and things like that. I saw that they were doing a tour, and I wasn't really expecting anything, and then I saw that they were actually going to Dublin. They were going to be performing in Dublin at a castle, which seemed pretty interesting to me, and I booked tickets for it. Me and Vicky are going to see the Gorillaz in Dublin at a castle, which I've never been to Ireland before, so I'm extremely excited to go to Ireland. And I've never seen a band at a castle before. So, yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. But then it was for June the 9th. So that's in 3 days' time, is this Saturday just coming up. and like it was such a last minute decision, and I didn't look into anything really. I just assumed that I'd be able to drive there because I'm an idiot, and I could drive there, but it would take 8 hours. For some reason in my head it takes 3 hours to get to Dublin. No, it takes 8 hours by car. So then I was like, okay, we can fly. So I set my flights to be Saturday and Sunday, so we fly in on the day of the concert and then we fly out the day after. And the flights were going to be £500 each for some bizarre reason. I paid less than that to go to the Philippines. So I was like, what on earth is going on? Suddenly started freaking out that I wasn't actually going to be able to go to this concert. It turns out that on Friday and Monday, if you fly on Friday and Monday, it was only about, I think, £100 each, so considerably cheaper. Still more expensive than I was expecting because, once again, I'm an idiot. But, yeah, so we booked in those flights, and then, obviously, we've got ourselves a hotel. There was also a funny situation with the hotel in that I booked it right next to the airport because I thought that would make life easy. I then wanted to actually switch over to be in the centre of Dublin, so I cancelled my spot at the hotel without reading the cancellation fee, and the cancellation fee was the price of staying in the hotel. So I had to ring them up and ring up booking.com and everyone like that and try and get myself uncancelled so I could stay there, because obviously I'm not paying that cancellation fee. That's ridiculous. So all in all, it was a bit of a faff, but I am going to see the Gorillaz in Dublin. I'm going to be staying in Dublin, and I'm going to be going away for 4 days, which is incredibly exciting. So I've got 2 days outside the concert, and then I have obviously the concert on Saturday night. So I can't wait. It was just so impromptu that, yeah, I wasn't really prepared for it in the slightest. Anyway, I've talked on for long enough. Let's get back onto the Hermitcraft server. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done. This is the final block. Well, I suppose there's quite a few ghost blocks, actually, and there's that massive area there, which is our lava lake. But other than that, this thing is now fully cleared. And holy mackerel, yeah, that was a big mining project. It took 3 and a bit hours. So that time lapse would have been quite cool, because it would have been, for every minute that you watch the time lapse, it would have been probably just over an hour's worth of work, which means that hopefully when I watch it back, it should look really cool watching me kind of scan through, like zipping back and forth across the screen as we take out all of the blocks. And I have to say, I am so happy that I switched over to OBS from Fraps, because if I had recorded that with Fraps, that would have used up a whole ton of space. I remember back in the day when I used to do time lapses using Fraps, I would have to clear out my hard drive before I did one, then it would just fill it with like 500 gigabytes of footage, whereas that was, I think, around about 40-50 gigabytes of footage, so not too bad. But anyway, here it is. This is it. You can see it is spawning slimes, which is impressive because bedrock is actually a non-spawnable block, I do believe. So, yeah, this is what it looks like. Let's look at it from above. Here goes. I'm going to do the standard thing of spinning round. Wow, that looks amazing. I've taken a screenshot straight away because the fog, the fog traveling down, that looked fantastic. Oh, that is a serious business build right there. Cool. Okay. Oh, brilliant. I'm so glad to see this place coming together. Fantastic. All right. Okay. There's still plenty more that we need to do. The first thing, or I guess the last thing that I want to do for today's episode is I quickly want to do a little bit of terraforming and just make sure that this place looks a tiny bit more presentable, because at this point in time, yeah, we have massive areas of empty stone and it kind of looks a little bit out of place. So we're going to have to bring up the mud, I suppose, up to this level here, and then we're also going to have to pull this in and pull that in over there and sort out that little overhang too, because that's not particularly pretty. Oh, on a side note, from this mining session, I guess you could say it's a mining session, from that clearing session, we managed to get ourselves 47 diamonds, which is that's pretty good going. That's better than, well, almost better than what we got from our massive mining session that we did recently in an episode. Now, this is crazily rough because I realized that actually we're going to be placing in hoppers. We're going to be doing redstone around here, so it's silly to make it really pretty at this point in time because we're just going to be tearing it up. But does this make things look better? That is the question. Obviously, it's all dirt right now, and it will have extra blocks on it. Oh, it definitely looks better. let's take a look at it from over here. Oh, that looks great. Oh, this is so cool. When we get the slime farm in there, I mean, I'm starting to think maybe we should change the colours of the walls and get rid of all the ugly blocks. So it'll be like a smooth, shoo, straight down. We'll see. One thing's for sure though, I am absolutely not doing that in today's Hermitcraft episode. Because, well, A, my shovel's almost run out, I hadn't even realised that, but B, I've done enough mining for one day. Right, so there we go, that is all of that side fully terraformed up. That should give us a good idea of what this thing is going to be looking like, and how it is going to be feeling once we get everything all sorted and done. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, that is actually all I've got time for today. I really do hope that you enjoyed this action-packed episode on the Hermitcraft server. It was a lot of fun to create. I'm really happy with the progress that we managed to make on this project. I cannot wait to see this thing done. But anyway, if you did enjoy, please hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and filming channel stuff. I haven't done this for a little while, but link can be found on the end screen for the latest film on the filming channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.